It's the final percent. The final percent.
All right, welcome to another podcast of the Final Percent with Greg Kimble, and I think we finally have figured out our audio timing issues. Again, we're using a bunch of video equipment, and I'll be honest with you, we're in over our head a few times. I have to call my media guy Valfred over all the time to say, okay, why is it doing this? Why is it doing this? Because my nephew and myself are taking it upon ourselves to be consistent with these podcasts. And today I want to talk, I'm going to attack this word again because we hear it all the time and it's the most important thing in a lot of people's lives. And it's this word called influence. A lot of people are looking for influence. They want to be an influencer. They want to influence people's lives, influence people's decision-making patterns. They influence. And I think we're going through this thing called influence, but what we're really looking for is control. And when you put it into that, guys, it's a little scary because what we're really trying to do is control people. And a lot of people are out there trying to influence decisions or become an influencer because I feel like, and this is everything on this podcast is my own personal opinion, and it is something that comes from me. It's something that I witness day in and day out. And what I am talking about in this time is this idea of being addicted to wanting to influence people. And I think what people are really trying to do is they're trying to control people. And I think it's coming from a lack of control in their life because they are either searching for something. And again, if you're one of these influencers, I'm not attacking you. I'm attacking the idea that is plaguing the youth of America, that is plaguing the high school generation right now, because we are running into a situation to where people are not trying to become anything. And that's why I did a podcast saying I really want you to try to make an impact, because influence is such it's murky waters right now. Now, don't get me wrong, used in the right way, influence can be a good thing. But usually we are searching for control. And I think it's because we have a lack of control in our lives. We have a lack of control because you can't control Instagram's algorithm. You can't control Facebook's algorithm. You can't control what would it be? SEO. You can't control all of these things. All you can do is keep dumping money into these things that are these pay per click, and you're trying to get in front of people because you think you want influence, but what you really want is control over your own life. You want control over decision-making power. And I think the best way to be influential is to focus on the word impact. And that's why I want to unpack the word, because again, you have certain things that are constantly changing the way that certain things that you have that you are that constantly change the way that you respond, react, and get out of life. And quite frankly, it can be summed up in the word philosophy. And I think that you can change your philosophy based on the language that you use. You can change your philosophy. And I love the way that Jim Rohn puts the word philosophy. He says, look, the same wind blows on all sails. It's just you have to set your sail. Now, your philosophy is you setting your sail. And I think that when we get stuck on certain words, or we get used to using certain words in our language throughout the day, things that are important to us, all of the things that we use on a daily basis that change the way that we make decisions, change the way that we are going about our day. And I think influence is a very murky word right now. And so I'm going to attack it again because I keep seeing it all the time. And I think that it is getting too closely aligned with control. People want to control your habits. People want to control your thoughts. People want to control certainly your buying patterns. And I think that, yes, you should buy things if it can make an impact in your life. But these people who are influencing you to buy the same course that's $9.97 that everyone and their mom has put out, it's not healthy. It's not good. It's much more healthy to get around people who encourage you, get around people who want to see you succeed. The old saying of watch all of the people who don't, like, especially your inner circle, especially your friends, the people who don't clap when you're winning. Those are going to be the people to really, really watch out for. But you always have that one friend who's clapping kind of even in the middle of the what you deem as the darkest area of your life, and they're saying, yeah, you can do it, but you get mad. Well, that's because you feel like you don't have control, and you feel like they're delusional. You feel like all of these things are feelings. Every decision that we make in life is based on whether anyone wants to agree with me or not. Again, these are my opinions. It's based on how you feel. It's based on emotion. It's not logic. We make decisions out of how we feel, and then we use logic to try to make us okay with our feelings. And again, this is just what I've seen. And so I think this idea of influence, I want to influence these people. I want to be an influencer. You can't, a lot of people say, oh, you can't buy influence. Well, that's probably a good thing. But in reality, you can buy influence. You can have more money than the next guy. You can have a setup like this. You can buy more ads on Instagram. You can do big events. Money does go a long way to buying influence, and certainly a lot of people will try to buy influence. We see it all the time, buying followers to make everyone think that you're influential. You see everybody trying to get into these masterminds. It's all about width and not depth. And depth, I think, is something where we are dealing very much with influence, with control. And we're losing control, and we feel out of control. And Instagram's messing with us, guys, because I used to spend a lot of money on Instagram because you can buy influence, and it got to the point to where I would decide not to spend money on Instagram to get out in front of people or this, that, and the other, and I would get 5 or 10 likes on something. And then I would get these little messages from Instagram. Your engagement has dropped. You can spend $200 to get in front of 10,000 people, blah, 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 blah. Click this little button here, and they make it really easy to spend money with them. What they're trying to do is get you to buy influence. And I just think that we need to be very careful about the language that we're using, and I think we need to have a shift, and we need to take back control. One of the books that I just went through is Deep Work, and he talks a lot about taking a break from social media, which I've been weighing back and forth. Do I want to do that? I haven't made a concrete decision, but it's something that I don't know how much, because all of the really important things in my life are very physical. They're very one-on-one. I'm having a conversation with someone. I'm making an impact with someone. I've got very good friends, very close friends, a circle of trust that I have, most of which I have not found through social media. Most of which I have found at events. I've found through friends of friends. It's kind of like if you are thinking about who the most important people of your life, it's your family. Okay, you didn't find those through social media. It's your friends. Most of the time, that's going to be an event that you had. Maybe it was school. Maybe it was at a social outing. Maybe it was you met through other people. And those are the things that I want you to go out and experience more things. Experience in my education, in my schools, what I tell people is, look, knowledge comes from training, and wisdom comes from experience. So I want you to experience as many things. That's why in all of these books that you read on how to become more, do more, have more, they talk about try to travel as much as possible. Try to go have experiences, see other cultures. And I think that this addiction to what we deem as influence, which influence is a little different than I think people are attaching to it right now, I think that it is a lack of control in their personal life, so they try to control the lives of others. They want to feel significant, and they want to feel very important because when they say something, they get a bunch of likes. When they say something, they get a lot of shares. They're very validated in what they do, and I think it's really important to start not going with the they. I mean, how many times have you seen a motivational seminar, a speech or whatever, and someone will hold up their phone and they'll say, you have more power in this device than it took to go to the moon, and you can utilize this power to go to the moon in your career, and just start categorizing things and this, that, and the other, which there is some truth to that, but I want you to focus on bringing value and being very personal. Now, this word authentic is just getting thrown around a ton right now. I want to be authentic. I want to be authentic. I want to be authentic. Well, if you're going to be, if that's your focus now, what were you before? Okay, well, maybe in some cases you're saying, oh, well, no, authentic means I am just going to do less polished videos. Okay, so do you not have all that stuff? Do you not have the means to do a higher quality product? Do you then think that you buy influence? Like these are the things that we're struggling with right now, because there's a contradictory argument to every single statement out there. And I think that if we focus on what is control and how much control do I have in my life? And if you look at it, the biggest thing that you have control over is your attitude. So when your buddy wins, clap for him, support him. Don't feel because you deem them as significant, you start going, oh, well, I feel insignificant. So now I'm not going to clap. Now I'm not going to do this. I mean, anytime I see one of my friends doing something really cool, I'm going to support them. That's just who I am. And I really want them to win. And we had just talked about how do you occur for others. So many people, like, I want to know who you are when the cameras are not on you, because that's how you truly feel. That's who you truly are. But most people always want to be validated by their actions, or they want people to see the food they ate, the hotel they were in, the car they drive, the life they live. Now, that's in some ways good to share. But don't get me wrong, I got caught up in it big time, and check this out, and check that out, blah, 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 blah. You know, if you're doing it what are the motives behind it? And that's the big thing. And I'm not going to lie to you. I had motives of, I want to be this big. I want to be just like Tony Robbins. I want to be like Grant Cardone. I want to be this, that, and the other. And then I got sick and tired of it, because they have a lot more money than I do, and they can buy significance, and they can buy influence, because they can put their ads in front of everybody nonstop. And so what I realized, the only thing I actually have control over is my attitude. I can go, hey, you know what? Did I wake up and honor my wife properly? Did I say thank you for being such a great wife? I mean, everyone's heard the story, but she sings me a song, which makes me feel significant. But I can promise you this, you will never see me put that song on. I'm not going to video her singing me that song and put it on my social media. That's for me. And I'm okay with that. So I think we have to understand, what are the things that we're trying to control? Operative word, trying. And what are the things that we can actually control? Now, the big thing that you can control is, what do you put into your mind? Because that's gonna be very, very big and responsible for your actions. And you can shift the way that you think. So you can support other people. You can clap for other people. You can love other people. You can choose the high ground. And I think that's more important than, like, you shouldn't grab your social media thing and be like, oh, check this out. I could have chosen the bad approach, but I took the high ground. Who cares? You should take the high ground. I don't care that you take the high ground. Stop putting that on social media and just take the high ground and then have an open discussion about it like this. And I know it might sound like I'm trying to attack people, but again, I'm not attacking people. I'm attacking the motives behind these things, because we need to control our own lives, and then we need to make an impact, and then we can gain influence. But our motives behind it needs to be, man, I really made a difference. And if that's your motives, then, and you're listening to this and you're like, I feel like he's attacking me. If your motives are really to make an impact, well, then you have nothing, like you shouldn't be feeling convicted right now. But if you think I'm talking to you, well, then maybe there are some things that you've got to change. Maybe there are some things that we should adjust. And the biggest reason I'm able to talk about things like this is because I've been guilty of all of them. It's just now that I'm seeing all of these other people, I'm more aware of the space that I'm in because I talk, I'm a personality, I'm a speaker, an author, all of these things. I'm going, man, is that what I look like? I don't like that. I want to change. And what do I have control over? I have control over my attitude, and I have control over my actions, you know? And so I want to change the way that I am responding and reacting and thinking. So instead of being cynical and saying, oh, this, that, and the other, and maybe I sound cynical, but I'm really just trying to grab awareness so that people can control their own lives and understand this what I think is becoming a very murky water and a very negative aspiration of influence. And I think if we want to influence anything, we should influence ourselves. We should make an impact on ourselves, and that is going to move outward. But it's like a ripple in a pond. I mean, if you drop a rock at the center, it goes out. It expands exponentially so. So you've got to start with making an impact and influencing yourself. But I think a lot of people who go after this word influence, I think they are quietly losing control. And I think that they are insecure. I think they're scared. And again, there's exceptions to every rule, but I just want people to understand, hey, am I trying to influence this because I don't feel significant and I want to feel significant? Am I trying to influence this because I want control over these people because I feel like I'm losing control in my marriage? Because I feel like I'm losing control in my business, because I feel like I'm losing control of my emotions, because and usually it's all stemmed from feeling insecure. I have met a lot of influencers, people with, hundreds of thousands, millions of followers, and they are some of the most insecure people I've ever met. And I'm going, wait, this is not who I thought I was going to meet. This is not who I thought that I was going to interview. And because they're so out of line with who I thought they were, I don't even air those podcasts. I don't even air those meetings because something doesn't seem off, because when the cameras are off, they are a different person. Now, I'm not saying air all your dirty laundry, because we've seen that on Facebook. That's not a fun thing to watch. But what I am saying is I would rather be hated, and this comes from my brother, just to give some credit where credit's due. I would rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. I think that needs to hold more true today than ever before, because we are constantly putting stuff up. So for instance, my I can't remember when it was, but a few months ago we had gotten a hot tub, and my nephew was going to take a picture of it. And instead of that, I explained to him why, hey, you know what, let's not take a picture of this, because this is for us. Now, throughout us living our life, yes, you're going to see pictures of us in the hot tub and looking at a great view. But for a long time, we just said, hey, you know what? We don't want to go, check out my new hot tub, check out this, blah, 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 because that was for us. And I explained to him, hey, I don't want to share that with everyone, because most of the time when you get something nice, people just start judging you. They don't know what you had to go through to get anything in your life. They only see the byproduct of you being someone and doing something, and then they see the have part. So I wanted to just be in the moment of someone who had a hot tub and could enjoy it with my family. And I didn't want to share it. Now, since we've had a couple posts of cool sunsets and this, but that's because we love the sunset. We love the view. We love the time and energy we're having. But I mean, we went through a couple months before we would do that because we didn't want that on there. There's been a lot of times where, I mean, for the longest time, I didn't put my car on social media. I didn't want anyone to know what kind of car I drove. I didn't put it on there. Now, since there's been some posts, I put one on TikTok the other day, which I thought was kind of funny because it was after hours and we were having an executive meeting and I parked in the handicap space, and it just goes to show you. I mean, we're not going to have any clients. No one's going to park there. But, man, I put that on social media, and I got eviscerated by a bunch of people. Oh, you're a clown. You're a this. You're a that. But they don't know that, number one, I'm at my own building. Number two, I know that there's no clients. And number three, why do you care so much? Are you more mad that I parked in that, or are you more mad that I have a car like that? Or are you more mad that I put it on social media? And then to my point, why did I put it on social media? I probably shouldn't have. I learned my lesson, and this is why I'm trying to do that. But it's not it's not my fault that you're mad that I drive a nice car. That's not my problem. That's your problem. And maybe I seem a little agitated, but it's just like you can't win or lose. So I just want you to focus on yourself, control your attitude when you're trying to come into this day and age of making a difference. Focus on making a difference. I know that I come to work every single day, and in my coaching practice and in my school, I make an absolute difference in the lives of the staff, in the lives of my clients, and in the lives of the students. I know it. I can go to sleep every night. I sleep like a baby. It is what it is. I'm not stressed out. Do I still have battles? Do I still have fires? Yes, absolutely. But I feel accomplished every day when I go to sleep. And that's because I've started to control my attitude and my actions. So anyway, I know that this is a little bit of a tangent, and I know that this is maybe hard for some people to hear, but if I can give you one thought to just get you to think about, hey, you know what, maybe I could shift this, that, and the other, Just do it. I want to be thought-provoking. If you agree with me, awesome. If you don't, awesome. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you going the final percent with me, and we will see you on Friday.
It's the final percent. The final percent.